Hey y'all, this is Scott. Got my Massimo 2023. It's got 23 miles on it. I bought it in 24, so it's virtually new. Just wanted to follow up on my last post about the stereo install. It is complete. It got a little bit above my expertise, my pay grade for sure. I did take it somewhere, but after listening to the mechanic or the engineer, or the technician, I think I probably just could have done it myself, but maybe somebody out there can learn from this. So just a quick recap. I bought these Pyle 4-inch, 4-inch Marine U2V off-road speakers, 800 watt. I've got two of them there. Bought them on Amazon. They're pretty accessible on Amazon. They're not that expensive. I think 60 or 70 bucks. Basically wired them through the 1.5-inch black PVC pipe, which has been connected with these carriage bolts to an existing rivet or existing bracket that's already on that holds the roof of the unit together. I showed all this in the first video. I won't go back through it. Ran the wires down here to the edge, added some protection, brought the wires back down through the backside of the roll cage and into what I thought was the dry bay underneath the the driver's seat. Initially, I had the amp located up in the hood area, kind of where the battery is. But after thinking about it, I'm going to dry seal this whole box. There are some holes and gaps in it. Use some of that real thick tape out there and just make sure this is watertight. The amp is a marine amp. It's not like it's going to damage it if it gets a little bit wet or sandy. But I thought this was a better place because the factory speaker wires reach this area just perfectly. Kind of tucked them in under here, used a few zip ties, all the hardware's in the kit. That's the easy part, then you hook it right into the amp. If you're doing what I did, there's only a positive and negative for each speaker, so there's really 4 wires to connect. Pretty simple there. If you have questions, just drop them in the comment. Where things got a little bit more challenging was kind of how does the amp connect to the backside of the touch screen, and that's where I had to take it into a guy that I know, and he said it was a little bit of a booger to figure out, but essentially what you have to add is about a 6 to 7 foot RC cable. So these RCs right here are what come out of the amp. There's a white one, there's a red one, and you're going to buy that 6 or 7 foot additional RC amp and hook them into these existing RC cables that come out. So there's a male and a female. You're going to need to buy, I believe it's the female version of that. Let me think about that for a second. It's probably the male version. That's the extension, okay? And so that's going to be sort of running along here, back down through the engine bay, underneath the floor. There's a lot of lines to follow. It's pretty simple from just a wiring and how to get it there perspective. I highly encourage you to use this, inexpensive. Basically, it protects the wire itself. It insulates it. So hopefully you're tracking with me so far. I'll slow down and put some still shots in next because this is where it gets a little complicated. I tried to debrief the technician as much as I could on how this happened. I asked him, did you have to tear the dash apart? Did you have to take out the battery? He said no. I wasn't 100% clear if he did or did not take out the battery. I would suggest taking it out because you have so much more space. Initially, I had the amp located right here. It seemed like there was more opportunity for water potentially to get in here, or sand or whatever. So at his suggestion and mine, I thought, the tub underneath the driver's seat is the best place to go. So long and short is you have an RC connection coming out of the amp, right? So you're going to buy that 6 to 7 foot male RC that's going to connect to the female that comes out of the amp. Run it all the way towards the back of the touch screen. At the back of the touch screen, and I'm going to try and show here with my light, the back of the touch screen, it's hard to see, I know, but that's where it's connecting to the output, what's coming out of the touch screen. And basically what the guy did is he spliced that RC that plugs into the amp and created, I don't know what they call these clips. It's not an RC, but it's, black and red wires. So it's pretty easy to kind of splice, maybe solder, just protect those. And then I'm going to do a little research before I post this and find out what kind of clips those are. So he said he didn't take the dash apart. He said he was able to manipulate his hands and different tools to get in there. And he had to kind of custom build this one connection on one side by the amp was RC, and then he used a specific clip that clipped into what was available on the output side, the speaker output of the touch screen. And of course he wired the power to power and the negative to the negative. I had him set it up so that I can only run the speakers when the vehicle's running. There is a random blue wire that is also involved, whether it just runs off the battery full time or you know, only runs when the vehicle's running. So it might be difficult for me to explain, but I also added these buggy whips in the back. I wanted those only to come on when the vehicle was running. So I've got this switch here that had instructions specifically to have an input if the vehicle was running. So he ran that original blue wire to this module here, which means speakers don't come on, the whips don't come on unless the vehicle is running. That might be a little confusing. My suggestion is if you're not super handy, you know, you might want to just take this to, I took it to a standard stereo shop with a bunch of, as you guys know, talent's hard to come by. A bunch of guys that really didn't know what they were up to. They denied working on it, so I took it to more of an expertise marine UTV guy. He's like, yeah, no problem, I can do this. It cost me, I think it cost me $500. Two guys working on it for 3 or 4 hours each. I'm super thrilled with the output. The speakers rock. I don't know what the rules are with music yet because I'm kind of new to YouTube, so I didn't want to play anything, any specifics, but I also wanted to show you one other thing here, what I did with the whips. If you did want to add them. So I just used these existing holes, used a carriage bracket on the bottom, and kind of secured them that way. Ran the wire down here. Hopefully you can see that. Get a better angle on it. Ran the wire down through here, drilled some holes in these underside rivets to protect it and guide it. Wanted to bring it all the way back to where the pivot is in the bed. Brought the other side sort of in the same fashion, used the tool to fish it through to the same side here. So these are the two whips following where there's a lot of other lines out of the way of the mechanism of the bed. And once again, kind of follows underneath down to the front and the switch there that I showed you. So I know it's a quick and dirty update, but it can be done with the speakers. They sound great. A couple other things I learned, and if you're new to a Massimo machine, the first thing you're going to find out is how freaking annoying the backup beeper is. So if you want to get rid of that right away, just unplug this tab right here. It goes right here. Just let the tab lay there. The speaker, the little beeping sound is gone after that. And then my machine was having a little bit of trouble starting, just struggling a little bit. And I guess I didn't know enough about the electrical fuel injection. So what the recommendation was from the speaker guy, he goes, let that cycle, let that little bar go back and forth. That means it's been electrically injected with fuel. And that starts like a dream, right? So, as you can see, I've got my whip on. You can probably see I've got some lights flashing and whatnot. Not sure how I feel about the whips in general, but they're kind of fun. Turn the whips off. And then from there, you connect your Bluetooth and play any music you want. So if I can give you any better details, I mean, it can be done. If you get stuck and it's worth paying a couple $100 to have somebody do it professionally, it's worth it. So at any rate, good luck. This is part 2. I'll let you know if I'm taking her down to Mexico in next Thursday and Friday. I'm going to romp it on the sand and blast some music and have a good old time. So I'll take some footage down there and let you know how she does on the beach and whatnot. Again, I know this isn't a razor. I know it's not designed specifically for super off-roading. I use it primarily as, you know, a utility vehicle, but if there are other guys adding maybe beefier suspension or have ideas to make it a little more capable, or if there's an engine upgrade or some kind of a, I don't know, something you can add to it to make it just run more efficient or better or faster, would love to hear it. I love the machine. Hope you guys are enjoying yours. Give me some feedback. Take care now. Bye.